I, madame, am the king's major domo. Hey, what's up makers? Welcome back to another video on Making with Matt. First of all, if you haven't hit that red subscribe button, please make sure to press it down below. Also, please press that little bell because that helps out the channel, helps me make more videos, and keep you guys entertained. Alright, so today, what are we talking about? I had a little tagline there, and if you've seen it, then you may know what we're talking about. We're talking about the 1994 The Lion King. This is a project I made a couple years ago, and this is Zazu, which Zazu was a red-billed hornbill, and Zazu was the majordomo for Mufasa, for Scar, and later for Simba. So essentially I found this project, I think it was on Instructables actually. There was a great tutorial on how to make it, and it essentially consisted of cardboard, of kind of paper mache. I think I might have used like a plaster stuff, and just got some feathers, and got some Mod Podge, and used all kinds of different techniques to make this happen. It is a puppet, and it was used by my daughter in their production of The Lion King at school a couple of years ago. She got the part of Zazu, and I really wanted to make a kind of a realistic looking puppet for her. So I followed the Instructables, did a couple things on my own, and came up with this puppet. So there is, we had a kind of a little black glove for her to wear. We had her in all black, and then to cover her hand, the wrist area, we had kind of a little black, actually this is not even a glove, this was just an old black sock, and cut off the end, and that allowed her to have something that would cover between the end of the long sleeve shirt and the hand going into the puppet. So let me take it apart here. I've got it held together for display purposes. I've got a plastic bottle in there, but I'm going to take off his head, and we'll start with that. So let me set that right there. And now that he's not front heavy, he's leaning backwards a lot. So essentially, this was all crafted out of cardboard, and like I said, it was, you know, it was like a plaster tape. You can get it online. You can also get it at model railroading stores, and it's essentially used to make terrain and textures and things like that. So it just kind of hot glued this cardboard under here together, and made this kind of structure, and then covered it in that plaster material, and then went ahead and painted it in the Zazu colors. It is articulated because it is a puppet, as you can see. There's a couple pins, one right in there and one right in there, and they go in and they spread out, and that allows it to move. I can't put my hand in here, it's just too small. It's designed for the kid, but I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, where his kind of, it looks more like a tongue a little bit, but that's actually a raised area so that the thumb can go into the bottom, and that allows that movement. There's also the empty space in between. This is all hollow, so that allows you to put your 4 fingers in there, and you just operate his mouth like that. So that came out really nice, and these are just ping pong balls that I used my Dremel and cut down, and then went ahead and painted them, put some glue on it. I think I probably used E6000, and went to the local hobby store, got a bunch of feathers in different colors, blue, black, and white, and I think we got a couple grays in there as well. Used some black feathers on his eyes right there in order to make kind of eyebrows, and that worked out really well. And the same thing here, again, just cardboard, and made the structure of the body, and then went ahead and started coating it just with literally, like, it's a feather coating. You start from the back, and lay down some feathers and glue those. And this is all hot glued. And then once those are dry, you lay another feather on top, you glue it, you lay another feather on top, you glue it, and keep going, going, going. And as far as this goes, it was just a strip of cardboard that I cut out and came down to here to a point. And then it's the same thing, just had some feathers, and I don't remember if I stripped it or no, I think it's just the feathers are just very, very long, and just hot glued them, and again started from the back, worked the way up to the front, and then near the opening in the back, white, and added in a couple blacks here and there. So actually I think there's a gray one right there, one or two, just to give it a little bit of a texture and a difference there. On the bottom, it's that kind of fuzzy fake fur, white, and just glued a piece in there, cut it to fit, and then same thing, started to cover it a little bit with feathers so that the feathers overlapped, and covered that up and made it look really, really nice. The feet, the same thing. In this case, if I remember correctly, what I did was I used 2 or 3 pieces of kind of it's a small gauge but wire, and just twisted them all together, and then stuck it inside and glued it down, hot glued it on the inside, brought it down like this, so you just had 2 wires that were these twisted pieces coming through, and then just went ahead and started cutting little pieces of cardboard and hot gluing them together until I got the foot pretty close to how I wanted it, and then went ahead and covered it in that same plaster cloth, and then painted everything up. The orange goes up most of the ways, and then I painted it white so it would blend in with that. And then on the inside, I just used some foam. I think this is like probably, I'm gonna say 1 inch, up there's a piece of 1 inch foam, goes around inside, and then that way, not only your arm's not scraping against those pieces of metal, but you're not getting any of the scraping effects from anything that's glued in there or the cardboard or whatever. So the arm goes through like so, and then once the arm is through, put the glove on, and then hand goes into the head, and now you've got the Zazu Puppet. So I'll go ahead and put the empty water bottle back in there, just so you can see again together. Came out great. I was really happy with how this came out, and it was really funny because I wanted this to be a surprise for everyone that was in the production. And so we had this old bird puppet from years ago, and during rehearsals and stuff, that's what she was using. And to make it kind of a joke, it was black and white striped. And I went ahead and I just took some rattle cans and I just spray painted some orange and some yellow right over it. It wasn't even covering it. You could still see the striping through it, and blue and stuff like this here. And I gave it to her and I said, here's what you go, practice with. But it wasn't only just to kind of like, give them a good shock when she showed up with this, but also, this, I didn't want her to practice several days a week and then end up getting ruined. I wanted to have it ready for that production night. So she kept taking the old plushy puppet and practicing with that. And so the night of the production, she shows up and she's got this, and everyone loved it, and it went really, really well. I probably have some video of it, and if so, I'll include it in the video. As far as how to make this guy yourself, the Instructable link, I'm going to look it up. I'll stick it down there in the description below. So again, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thank you, I appreciate it. Also make sure to hit that little bell so you can get notifications about the videos. And yeah, Zazu from The Lion King, 1994. Amazing puppet. This is something I'll probably keep forever. It's just it's a one-of-a-kind build for me, and I love it. And I love how it came out. I loved how it looked in the play, and it was really, really cool. So thanks for watching, everybody. And as always on Making with Matt, what is it, Zazu? Keep on making.